Hey everyone, welcome back to my new series, Women of the Mat, a series where we sit down with the women of combat sports and BJJ so we can learn and be inspired. Today I'm sitting here with Irene Serrano. Irene is a fierce blue belt competitor. She also runs her own aesthetics business. I've had the honor to compete against her many times. She's definitely one of my favorite grapplers for sure. So Irene, what got you into BJJ?
Hi, Salma. Congratulations on your podcast, by the way.
Thanks.
So I got into jujitsu, martial arts in general. I started with kickboxing. I did do one kickboxing competition. I didn't like it, but I still wanted to compete.
How was that? Like, was that like all contact or?
Yeah, so it was all contact. I mean, like we were like in full gear. But yeah, it was just really intense for me.
Yeah.
And I started grappling and doing more jujitsu. And it just really grew on me. And that's when I realized, like, you know what, like maybe I'll give competition another chance.
That's cool because I was gonna ask you, like, was being an active competitor a part of your plan in the first place, or were you just looking for like a hobby?
At first, I think I was just looking for a hobby. Um, I am really into like just like fitness and wellness in general. Even like before martial arts, I'll just lift a lot of weights. The weights, running. Yeah, I just wanted to mix it up a little bit, learn some self defense.
Yeah, I really like jujitsu because it's like it's really really tough, but there's a lot of play in it, and you have a lot of your own like choice and creativity for what you get to do and your game plan and such. So it's fun for that. What about competing? Like, do you love like what keeps you competing? Because I know that you compete really actively and that not every outcome is the same. So how do you keep pushing when maybe motivation isn't there?
So, one thing I really like about competing is just how fast or how much faster you improve.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like this year, for example, it was my first year competing as a blue belt.
Mm-hmm.
And if I were to sit down and look at all my matches, I probably lost most of my matches. So, like although like it was a tough year of losses, I don't think there was ever a time where like I felt really, really bad because I lost. I've kind of just accepted that, I'm at a new level, right? And it's to be expected.
Right.
Yeah. But at the same time, um, I noticed that, as I do keep competing, I just keep getting better. Like there's no way you can keep like showing up and not get better.
I agree. I agree. Do you have like a certain training regime that you have going up to comp? Like, does it look different than if you're just like casually training?
Yeah, so, leading up to competition, I do like to get in at least 4 to 5 days of mat time per week. With that, of course, like I make sure to just really dial in on my recovery. Especially as women, sometimes like it's that time of month
Yeah.
and like, you just have to rest. Like you just have to give
Yeah.
your body what it needs.
I was gonna ask you about that too. Like, how does your period affect training? Because I haven't figured it out really.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, most times, when I am on my period, I don't train
Mhm.
because it's just a big hassle. And yeah.
There's been times where like I was about to start and I've had a competition. Um and I feel like I don't know, the adrenaline definitely helps. Definitely helps push through. I don't think I feel any weaker, but for example, like say it's like that first day, like heavy flow. Me personally, like I'm probably gonna take that training day off.
Yeah,
You know,
it's usually the first day too. It's
yeah,
always the
those
worst.
that first or second day. Also, like, sometimes you just don't feel as clean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like if we're doing nogi, I really hate that feeling of my period.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. But, thank God for tampons. So.
thank God for that, for real. But yeah, going back to your competition prep. Sorry, I kind of cut you off.
Yeah.
How do you like handle like rest and recovery? I know that a lot of active competitors like brush off certain injuries just because like they
Mhm.
don't see it as serious or they just like are really I don't know what I'm trying to say.
So thankfully, I have not had a serious injury yet. I know sometimes it is inevitable.
Mhm.
I've had little injuries here and there. For example, like the very beginning of this year, something weird happened to my toe, and I took maybe like a month off,
Mhm.
yeah, to recover because like I really couldn't do anything. Um, but sorry, go back to your question.
What does like rest and recovery look like for you?
Hmm.
Whether it's just like after training or like you have a minor injury, like
Hmm.
I find that more than like taking care of injuries, it's like being, I guess, proactive, like making sure that I'm stretching and making sure that I'm eating, just like trying to be preventable with those things that I struggle with. Cause
Hmm.
like it's so easy for me to just go straight to training without like probably the right amount of protein I need or probably the amount of hydration I need because I'm just like, no, I'll just get the training out the way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to take care of yourself when you're doing so much. How do you do that?
Hmm. So, as far as diet and like supplements, I do have a routine.
Mhm.
Um, for example, I'm a big, I'm a big foodie, so like I really don't miss out on my protein or like, just food in general. I do struggle sometimes to like eat my greens, but who doesn't? So I do take supplements every night. I'll do like fish oil and magnesium.
Oh,
Those are like my non-negotiable. Like, there's probably not one night that I go without them, unless sometimes I'm traveling and I just forget my stuff.
what do those help with?
So the fish oil, it's really good for heart health.
Okay.
It's good for your skin, for your joints. I don't know if you struggle with this, but I've had like acne issues
Yeah.
even like before being on the mat so much.
Yeah.
So I'm really also as an esthetician, I'm just really adamant about taking care of my skin.
Right.
So that's what fish oil helps with. Magnesium, magnesium glycinate to be specific. That's really good for muscle recovery. Yeah, muscle recovery. It also helps you sleep very well.
Okay.
So I highly recommend it.
I'll have to try that
Yeah.
for real.
Oh, and creatine.
And creatine,
Hmm.
what is I'm so like out of it. Like, what is creatine? Like I know like
Yeah.
should be putting some other
So
stuff.
creatine, I can't tell you like the smarty pants of what creatine is, but basically it helps like your muscles hold more water.
Okay.
Yeah, and it helps with like the tears of your muscle and just like the
Mm,
repair of it.
yeah, that seems really helpful.
Yeah, so you have to drink a lot of water when you're on creatine.
Yeah.
Yeah, creatine is naturally found in like fish, steak.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's found in meat.
So do you ever struggle with like imposter syndrome or the blue belt blues? Because it I think that a lot of people can be intimidated by competing and by putting themselves out there because maybe they have certain expectations that are too high or unrealistic for themselves in the sense of like they're just being too hard on themselves, like they just need to go out and compete and try it.
Hmm.
Um I just lost my train of thought.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So I think I think a lot of us do, struggle with imposter syndrome. Especially if jujitsu is not like our main, it's not our main job. For most of us, it isn't. So, for example, me, I run my own small business, so sometimes like balancing that with my training time and
Yeah.
competition time, it's a lot, you know. And I will get in my head if like for example, like I miss a couple days here and there. Again, because sometimes like you just need to like give your body time to recover, right?
Right. How do you like not overtrain or how do you know what is overtraining or not? Like life and work and training balance is very,
Hmm.
very difficult. How are ways that you've tackled that yourself?
Hmm. Personally, if my body is in like physical pain,
Hmm.
or like I'm just like really sore, I'll just take it as a sign to do something else besides go to train. I'm a really big fan of the sauna. the heat, I'll do some stretches. Sometimes when I don't want to work out in general, like I'll walk on the treadmill or walk
Yeah.
outside when it's nice out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just, everyone's different. Um, we all have different abilities. We all know our body best. Like I said, I do try to take care of myself and eat well and sleep well. So if something's off, like, I'll know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just a lot of trusting yourself, I think.
Yeah, and listening to your body, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. There are those days though where, like I'm not in pain, but I'm not there like mentally. Like there's days where I think most days actually I'm like, nah, like I don't really want to go train today. Like I'd rather just like, lay in my bed and,
Right.
cuddle with my cat.
I'm the same way. And then like the thing that always like drives me is like, "Ugh, I know I'll like feel better after. I know I'll feel better after
Yeah.
and I'm gonna have grown a little bit more and it's gonna be okay."
Yeah, definitely. And then again, like you don't have to go 100%. Like I think
That's true.
just showing up, like
That's
that's like 80% of the work,
mhm.
just being here.
Being intentional is so important because you get to
hmm
choose the level of intensity and what you focus on. Like, when I was rolling with Melina, she
hmm
was asking, she said she was like, "You've rolled like every round without a break, like that's crazy." And I was like, well, because every round I'm not really looking to like kill you. I'm like, I'll focus on one thing. If you take me down and all that I'm focusing on is just having my frames and like getting my guard back, that's pretty low in intensity, but that's still being intentional and doing the work. And
hmm
then there'll be another day where I am doing like I'm drilling my game plan and I'm
More offensively.
yeah, and
hmm
I'll be doing more purposeful things like for competition and stuff. But knowing that there's wide variety of ways that you can go about it, I think helps your longevity.
hmm
Yeah. What's your mindset in such a long journey. Like we're at blue and we're
hmm
gonna end up at black. But like when things get really mundane,
hmm
maybe mundane, how do you handle that? How do you keep yourself hungry for like
Yeah.
you know?
Um. So again, like competing,
Yeah,
right? Like I don't mind losing, but also like I don't want to come back next time and make the same mistakes.
right.
If that makes sense. So that definitely keeps me hungry. Just
Mm-hmm.
keeping, just always like being signed up for competition. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there are like, is it still okay?
I'm like, is it on or no?
I'm sorry for technical difficulties. I will be
I
better.
think it just turned off.
Really? It's okay.
Okay, cool.
I forgot where we were. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
What made you hungry? What made you hungry?
Yeah. Yeah, so not making the same mistakes. Oh, also just being a minority, right?
Yeah.
Just both as a woman of color. I think about just like how few of us there are,
Yeah.
and like that keeps me going a lot of the
It
time.
feels really good to represent. Feels really good
For
to
sure.
represent. And also like the whole like there's this many grapplers in the world, there's this many competitors, there's this many women, and there's this many women competitors. There's such a small amount still that it is nice to kind of be a good representation of the sport and women in it. What are some struggles that you faced being a woman in jiu-jitsu?
hmm I feel like it's nothing. I feel like my struggles are really nothing out of the ordinary. Sometimes I have struggled to find like just other women partners. Sometimes I'll just be like one of two women or one of a few women that show up. Um, Even then sometimes there's like size differences, right? So
Right.
it's hard to find like I guess like a good like equal grappling partner.
Yeah. It's sometimes it'll be like only like two girls on the mat.
I think another thing too, and it's getting better, but just like training clothes, like
Training clothes, yeah. There's I'm like really passionate about this.
hmm
Yeah, I want more comfortable clothes.
yeah, more comfortable and like just cuter clothes.
Cuter clothes, I'm gonna need to see a lot more pink stuff and other stuff. I also like just clothes that fits well and doesn't
Mhm.
isn't uncomfortable like during rounds and stuff.
Mhm. This might not just apply to women, but I feel like it's a common theme. Um, even like just like training such a long time, like weightlifting and stuff, I feel like I've never been like fully comfortable with how my body looks.
Yeah, I
You know?
struggle a lot with that.
Yeah, and again, like that comes back to like the clothes we wear.
It goes back to the clothes we wear and also like being in divisions, like weight divisions can kind of add to that.
Mhm.
But then also with wearing like tight rash guards and stuff, when I
Mhm.
started gaining weight, it made me really insecure. And it's just like we're doing something really, really vulnerable. And we're also like wearing really vulnerable things. So body issues come up a lot.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
What are things that you think the jujitsu community could do better to promote and grow women's sports and women in jujitsu?
Mhm. Let me think about that. I've never really thought about that. I know that's like a such a common theme
Hmm.
nowadays. I feel like it has gotten better with more women being like on the main cards.
Yeah, for real.
I feel like just like promoting more women's classes,
Hmm.
in the gyms. Um, so like when I'm looking for gyms to drop in at, I like to look through the pictures,
Right.
right? And there's been a few gyms where like I kind of like I wouldn't be opposed to like dropping in, but sometimes I won't see like any women or just like very few women that seem to train there.
Some gyms don't have women's classes, and some gyms don't even have women's like lockers or changing rooms. If
Hmm.
you don't feel like there's a space for you, it's kind of hard to feel welcome. I
Yeah.
feel or
Hmm.
like not overlooked.
Yes.
So yeah, I would say that too. I think also I was kind of thinking about how there's only like so many women on the mat at a time sometimes. It can be hard to like find people to compete with too.
Hmm.
Like I said, like I brought this up like the last episode that we've competed a few times, but I think it's because there's only so much um uh amount of competitors that are female and then in an area and then we're in the Midwest and then as a whole. I think that if people show that there is a space for women in jujitsu, it would grow it.
Hmm.
I know that if we can have like nogi specific classes, if we can have different specific classes, you can make the room to make a woman class. Period. That's what I
For
said.
sure. Yeah. Also, just more women leaders.
That's true. There's like I feel like that's why I felt the need to step up because like I feel like there is a need to step up. Like we should be facilitating things and we should have more women up front. Like are the women black belts in as are they treated the same way as the men black belts? So do we have these women displayed at the front the same? Are we showing them when they in the posts and stuff and online? Like I see what you're saying. How do you handle comp nerves?
Comp nurse.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like I feel like I have like a pretty much the same routine every time. Um, so like even like before I show up to comp, like just like the weeks before,
Hmm.
I'll make sure that, I'm coming to class, I'm eating right, I'm sleeping right. I try to do all that anyway, just to
Right.
make sure, I stay ready, right?
Hmm.
Um, so the day of the comp, um, I'll try to have like a good meal in the morning. Usually it's a small meal because I usually don't have an appetite
Right.
anyway. I always have coffee in the morning. I gotta have my coffee. Um, so my coffee again with my supplements, I'll put like mushroom supplements, creatine. I put honey in there. Like that's just what I usually drink.
Hmm.
So like I pretty much try to keep it the same. The day of.
Hmm.
Um, so, I'll get to the tournament. I'll do my little warm ups and stretches, do like some flow rolling. I try to like walk around, just a lot of walking really. Sometimes I will like look at the other competitors. Sometimes that makes me more nervous though.
Yeah.
So like I just go like take laps and stuff.
Like, you ever get like the adrenaline like rush, like that dump? It's
Yeah,
usually like
I'll be
right,
so
like
tired.
yeah, for real.
Yeah, and then I think that's when like the doubts start creeping in more. Like I'm never as tired as I am on comp days.
Yeah,
you know? And like it's really disheartening because like, you want to be on your A game, right? And I feel like that pretty much disappears though once you step on the mat.
yeah. Once
You
I got
know?
on the mats and I done my first match, I'm like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
I remember.
So that first match, like you feel so like slow
Yeah,
sometimes.
well, sometimes it feels like I'm blacking out. Like I don't remember jujitsu. Like I train every day.
Yeah.
Something about the competitions mats like has it like gives you some type of an illusion as if it's
It doesn't feel
different.
real at
Yeah,
first.
no, it doesn't.
But yeah, it does feel good though. Like win or lose, honestly, like once it's over, it's like wow, like I
Yeah,
just did
I'm like,
that
oh, I did this hard thing and it's cool, and yeah,
and I'm alive.
and I'm alive and I made it out. For
hmm
real. How do you handle wins and losses?
Um, I'll start with the wins.
Okay.
It feels really good. It feels really good to win, right? I feel like that feeling though, it's very fleeting.
Yeah.
Like say like I don't know, I won by like points or something. Like I'll be really happy, but at the same time I'll be like, dang, like I didn't get the submission.
I find that
Like I got lucky or it was just my day. Like it's kind of like not all that to me,
Mhm.
but like in reality, like you should be really proud of yourself. Like you got the
Yeah.
win. The win is a win.
Yeah. I find that I anticipate feeling a lot more when I win than I
Mhm.
actually do. I think
Uh-huh.
that, I don't know. Sometimes winning's overrated, but I would not have said that when I was a white belt and I was losing like I was. So.
Mhm.
But it just takes experience because it's like, um, when you put like winning on such a pedestal, it takes away from everything else that you're doing. And I think that when I cared a lot about like, girl, I just need this like sub and I need to do it fast and this and that, like it took away so much of the fun of what I was doing. Once I was like, I don't really care about the outcome, I was able to have fun, and in that I performed a lot better because I had less pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, it is hard to find that balance of like, okay, like I gotta take this seriously. Like
Yeah.
I spent so much time, so much money to compete today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best, but I'm also gonna go in with an open heart.
Yeah. Yeah. That's skill.
hmm Yeah, I think yeah, it definitely it comes with experience, like those wins. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going with that.
Yeah, no, you ate that. And how do you handle losses?
Okay, so the losses, those do suck,
Yeah.
obviously. Um, I mean, like this year, for example, like I said, it was my first year competing as a blue belt.
Mhm.
So like this year, I didn't take the losses too hard. I think maybe next year when I compete again, like it's gonna hit maybe a little bit harder. But really, like I just try to come back better.
Yeah.
I feel like the real loss is like it's so corny, but like quitting or
Yeah.
saying like no, like this just isn't for me. Like,
Yeah.
and that's okay. Maybe you just get to that point, but I don't know. Losses are just lessons. So
Yeah. That's a really good way to look at it. I struggle sometimes with losses because I feel like I think I'm just hard on myself. Like I'm like, no, you should have performed a lot better, and you did X, Y, and Z to prepare. So why aren't you showing up the same way? But that would honestly be like one, not giving the other girl credit because in our division, like y'all are really tough and really good.
yeah,
So
it
it's
has been a tough division.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like not even like y'all give y'all flowers for real, like the better grappler that day. But it even like being at the same ranking as them and knowing that I'm right where I'm supposed to be and that I'm gonna have my day and that whatever, it helps to handle those losses because, like I said, like I'm pretty sure I'll be competing. I don't know about you, but probably for the rest of my jujitsu journey. And I have a lot of time to do this. So what is like one loss when I was 20 and blue belt, you know? So it's all experience and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's also all made up. It's very serious, but it's also all made up. Like we're just rolling around, so it's okay. Best and worst tournament stories. I'm curious.
Let me think. I feel like my worst tournament would be one where like I get hurt to where like I can't compete for a while. I
Yeah.
feel like that would be bad.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I don't know, like it might happen, you know. Especially if you compete a lot, like I feel like it is inevitable sometimes. But thankfully I've had really positive experiences. Yeah.
I feel like my worst ones are like when I don't pack the right gear.
Oh my goodness. Actually, that did happen to me once. I forgot my gi. So I'm really, I hate saying this out loud because like, I don't like affirming it, but sometimes I struggle with time management.
Yeah, no, same. It's okay.
Yeah, especially like, you know, tournaments are usually really early on the weekends. So, yeah, there was this one time where I forgot my gi for some reason. Like, I left it on the bed. Like, I should have just packed it the night before.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like those little, like...
I'm really bad about my gi. Especially how you can't, like, dry it and stuff. You have to, like, hang it. I'm really bad about bringing it.
Yeah, and then I usually have to drive out, like, from my town. So, yeah, there was this one time where... You know how like the tournaments go. Like they'll say you'll be competing at like 12,
yeah,
and then you'll be going at like 10.
Literally.
Yeah.
There was one time where I think it was like 2 Fujis ago. Luckily I was there because I was gonna help coach the kids, but I was like the first one, like right at 9. I was like, "Don't kids start at 9?" It was like really confusing because they said I was like at noon or something, and then all of a sudden like I had gotten there and they were like, "Sama Soto," and I was like.
You like don't even have time to warm up.
No, that ass. I was like, well, I'm just gonna put my gi on and go because I have no choice.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, thankfully that one time that I forgot my gi, there was another teammate. He was my size, so he let me borrow his gi. But it was like I got there and then 10 minutes later I was competing, so it was really stressful.
Yeah, it can be high paced. Right? What is the importance of supporting your fellow female athletes? What do you think?
It's super important. You know, you want to keep your friends around. I think it's really important to encourage those newer women as well. You know, I think a common theme I see is that, especially like, you know, if like a gym doesn't like provide that comfortable environment for women, they tend to not stick around.
Right.
So yeah, I try to be super accommodating and, you know, say hello and, you know, just get to know them better, right? Just like outside of training. But yeah, I think that's really important. Thankfully, when I started, you know, I had really good, women teammates, and that's kind of why I stuck around.
Me too. I think that's a big reason that I stuck around. I tried a gym first, but there was like literally no women there. And then eventually I found a role model, and it's like mostly women, and it's really, really, really sweet. I think that a big reason people stay is because of how they're treated. And yeah. What are your thoughts on weight cutting for competitions?
I know. I'm glad you brought that up. So I feel like I've kind of like let go of that of weight cutting, unless it's like, you know, 5 pounds. I'm usually like right in the middle of divisions. So that's usually pretty manageable. You know, I can do like a water weight cut like a few days before. But I think for the most part, it can be really unhealthy, especially for us women, just because our hormones are so much different.
Yeah.
You know, our weight fluctuates so much. Yeah, so I think that's a struggle for, you know, a lot of female athletes.
I think that like if you're not getting paid, don't wake up.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah. Just like compete at at your weight.
Yeah.
Or, just make a goal, like a long-term goal, if you just want to be like healthier in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
true. Is there something from your white belt days that you've learned that you've taken with you as a blue belt?
Let me think. That's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think for me, like I said, I started with kickboxing, right? So I feel like going into jujitsu and just like being like a smaller person, I feel like I felt like I had to compensate a little bit more by being more aggressive. And again, with making women feel, comfortable in spaces, I feel like sometimes that kind of like intimidated other women, which, wasn't like what I wanted to like put out.
Right.
But, sometimes people interpret things differently.
Mm-hmm.
So I've definitely learned to just be more intentional with my movements and just know when to like bring more force to a movement or, be more explosive.
I think a big part of being a blue belt and like finally getting color on your belt is learning how to control those intensities, especially when you go with new people, learn how to flow roll, and then when you're going with the higher ranks, know when to go crazy. It's like it's a skill. Sometimes I still don't know. I think I told you we were gonna flow roll, and I'm not sure that we did.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm honestly still practicing like how to flow roll. It's kind of hard sometimes, especially because me personally at blue belt, like I sometimes I still can't believe I'm a blue belt because I know there's so much I don't know yet.
Yeah.
And I catch myself in a lot of positions where like I just don't know what to do.
I think that's also like what at least keeps me on this journey is that there is so much you don't know, and I know that like most black belts will be like they still don't know like shit. Like there's so much to learn, and so much to figure out about jujitsu. Yeah. How do you go about your game plan? How do you build it? Do you do what works for you, or do you see something that you like and you make it work for you?
I think a little bit of both. During class, I think there's some things that just like, they're just gonna come more naturally to you. Every now and then, like, we'll all be like online, right? And like, we'll see a cool reel or something and I'll see something that I want to learn. But, sometimes like it's more complicated than it looks, right? So I feel like if you really want to learn something, like there's no reason why not. But, I feel like there are some movements that, just suit some body types better or, some personalities.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like taking kind of like what's it called? A mosaic. I feel like we all are a mosaic of, people we've trained with and,
Yeah, I definitely have different parts of people's games in mind.
Yeah, and that's why I like going to open mats as well.
Yeah.
Like I'll see or like something cool will be done on me and I'll be like, wow, like, I want to learn that.
Yeah, no, I agree. What would you like the future of women's BJJ to look like?
Definitely more women coaches.
Yes.
And just well again like just bigger women's classes. I think it's very possible. I don't think it's anything like out of the ordinary. Yeah, I think it's up to like gyms in general just to like open up more spaces and just promote that more.
Yeah, I think that I mean there's a saying that's like if you want a village you have to be a villager, so you kind of have to step up, and we are some of the few women here step up, but it's also like y'all men need to do stuff too. And then there's gyms that like I'm just putting it how I feel because like
for me it's just like just normalize it.
Normalize it because there's nothing right.
Yeah, for me like okay, I'm not a mom yet, But I know when I have my kids, they're gonna do jujitsu.
No, literally.
Especially if I have
Well,
daughters.
jujitsu's for everybody. I think one of my training partners, Matt, said that. Like, they were like, if you want to try it, like, jujitsu's for everybody and anybody. And you really do, like, I think that's what I was saying, like, you really do get to make it your own. Also, like, if you don't want to be a competitor, you could just be a hobbyist. Or if you don't want to be all that and you're just doing it for self-defense, like, just do it for self-defense. Like, it's so versatile. There's a space for everyone that there should be no excuse as to why there isn't a space for everyone. That's just, like, bad gym culture that.
For sure.
Yeah. What life lessons have you learned on the mats?
A big one is just how do I put this? We're in this for the long run, not everything is a sprint.
Right.
It's a marathon, right? And this is a little bit off topic, but I actually started running this year as well. It's a little hard because you're trying to. I'm not diagnosed or anything. I think I have like ADHD, but I like weights, I like running, jujitsu, obviously. I did my first half marathon.
Oh, congratulations!
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so that's like another one of my hobbies, right? And something I've learned through that as well is just pacing yourself. And again, we talked earlier about recovery.
Yeah.
We only get one body, right? So just taking care of ourselves, our mental health. I feel like that's what's gonna help us stick around long term.
Yeah. Also, like, mental health is a big part of training too. That I feel like gets overlooked a lot. How do you handle your mental health during it?
Yeah. This definitely helps, with mental health. There are some times though where, some people may not agree with this, but like I have to have other hobbies besides jujitsu because
That's fair.
Because again, we talked about the losses earlier, right?
Yeah.
I feel like when you base your identity of just being a winner all the time, like, I feel like that's not it's not gonna get you very far, or even if it does, like, you're not gonna be happy with yourself because even if you win all the time, like, you're gonna always be nitpicky and, and
just worried about the wrong things.
Yeah. So I do think it's important to have an identity outside of people.
What is something that you would tell somebody who wants to try jujitsu but hasn't yet?
I would tell them to just show up. I would probably like tell them or like introduce them to like good like rowing partners. Sometimes it's not always the best to put them with like other newer people.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's a little awkward. No one knows what
like doing. Showing the blind.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous.
Yeah, it is dangerous.
Too. Yeah. Whether they're male or female, I feel like just making them feel part of a community. Making them feel welcomed. Yeah, I mean, I would tell them like, hey, like, I feel like a lot of people will look at me and be like, oh, but I'm never gonna be a competitor like you, or like it's not like that's not my lifestyle. But again, like you don't have to make it your lifestyle. It can just be a hobby. For me, so distracting. There's some kids. Oh, so rascals. I would tell them to just come like a couple times a week. You know, like you don't have to start out, training 5 days a week.
That's what I think is like what I was talking about managing your expectations. Like you're not gonna come in here. You don't have to come in here and like be a prodigy or anything. You just have to stick. And like I know usually like coaches will be like, if it's your first month, like just focus on one thing, because it can be a lot, because there is a lot of information, and if you aren't intentional about it, you're just going to be learning a bunch of random shit and not really knowing how to put it together.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think that was definitely me my first year.
Same.
Yeah, it takes a minute for stuff to start clicking. But yeah, you're right. I mean, just focusing on one thing at a time.
Yeah, I think like the first thing I focused on was getting out of college. lifeguard. So that was really simple. I have a few fun questions before we stop.
Okay.
What is your favorite gi?
My favorite gi. Okay, so I have two level black gis. I really like them. They're Mexican American owned, based in LA. So I like to support La Raza. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, and also like they have really cool gear.
Yeah. What is your favorite rash guard?
Let me think. My favorite rash guard. I have one by, I think it's how do you pronounce it? Gaidema? I don't know. You know what I'm talking about though?
I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, they have cool stuff too.
I like their stuff. What's your favorite submission?
My favorite submission, I feel like that'll change, but from time to time. But I really like just a good old rear naked choke.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the backpack them and stuff. Period. Gi or no gi?
If I had to choose, no gi, but I really want to be great at gi. I think the gi is badass.
I think the gi is so fun. I want to learn a lot of like lapel jokes.
Oh yeah, I'll be rolling with like the upper belts, and they'll start looping the lapels. Yeah, and like I probably just let them sometimes just to see where it's going.
There's times like there's a training partner, Justin. He is a purple belt, and like we'll be standing, and he's already taking out my lapel, like even before I've already taken it down. Who's your favorite female grappler?
Probably Sarah Galvao.
Okay, yeah. I love her. I love her quote. She's just like, a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. Yeah. I really like the way that she goes about things.
Yeah, she's super positive. I had the privilege and honor of visiting her family's gym in San Diego.
That's so cool.
That was a really cool experience. Just being in the same room as like, such high level people. Yeah. And I did get to go to her women's only class.
Dang, that's so cool. Yeah. I watched her dad's at Jiu-Jitsu Con this year. He had like a seminar, like a talking seminar in the middle of the competition.
Was he teaching or?
No, he was like talking. Like he was talking. It was like the champion mindset. Like he was just like giving like a TED talk movement, and he said some really good stuff. I really like them. What is your favorite song to roll to?
My favorite song, I don't have a favorite song, but I really like rolling to like corridos.
Yeah,
like the newer stuff. Yeah, just like any Spanish music. I did like what you guys had on earlier.
Because my playlist, I made specifically a playlist for Women's Mat because like, if I had,
it was awesome.
Yeah, I was like, I know the vibes, and if I just played my like songs, it would have been all over the place. So I don't really have playlists, but
yeah, me either. I don't really have playlists. I just have everything. I have Spotify, so I just have like everything in one category. Yeah. Sometimes I'll shuffle it. But usually, honestly, I'll just play like my top 10 songs, my last 10 songs that are saved, because that's usually what I'm listening to on repeat.
Yeah, I've been using the DJ a lot.
Okay.
Well, he kind of sucks because
he
kind of sucks. But like, if I'm driving, I don't want to think about what I want to put on. Like, I'll just be like, "You got it." What's your favorite snack after training?
My favorite snack? Okay, so after training, I don't do snacks. I do meals.
Yeah.
It depends. Sometimes I will cook, or I'll go next door to my mom's house, and she'll have something made. But I always have my protein. I'll have like some sort of like
surprise. Hello. So basically, I did a really bad job at 1, preparing for this video, 2, editing it and putting it up at a good time, because I recorded this November 22nd and I'm putting it out now on like the 5th. That's okay. Nobody's perfect. I want to say thank you to Irene for doing the video with me. Love her. I'll put where you can find her and her business and all that good stuff in the bio. Two, I know the audio is whack. I know it's whack. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm trying. But honestly, it's a good learning experience and I have no problem learning. Um, Third thing, this is just because I felt it was silly. Third thing is I feel like I don't have to say welcome to my new series. It's the second one. It's established. It's here. So it's technically not that new. Noted. Also part of the reason part of the reason that I was so badly prepared is because I thought that I had enough storage to record it, but I didn't have enough storage to record it all, so like the filming like ended in the middle of it, and then I cleared it up a little bit, and then it didn't film the rest of the video. It only filmed part of it, so like it's basically two choppy videos mixed into one with really shitty audio. But we had really good conversation, and I'm still gonna share it because still put your shit out even if it's bad. I promise you it's worth it. And yeah, so thanks for watching. This is Murphy, my coach's dog. I love you, Murph. Yeah, thanks for watching. I would really appreciate a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. If you could please share it for a girl, I would really, really, really love that too. See y'all in the next video. Bye.